on the
final word. We are live.
The future. I meant to say future. He's gonna be a future Hall of Famer. I'm speaking it to existence. That we doing right now, baby.
I love it, Law. I love it. Very interesting day.
Yeah.
We have the father of Mr. Cooper, Beebe himself, Tom Beebe. How you doing, sir?
Yeah.
Good. Thanks for having me on.
We're excited. We were saying before the show that you cause world peace. Law, am I lying?
He ain't lying.
Like,
he ain't lying at all.
If any pick put it all together and just caused all fighting to cease, it was this pick. So we're excited about it, man. So excited about it. So go have us some good talks today.
Yeah. It's gonna be a great show.
Oh yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate everybody, man.
Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off, Law.
No, let's go, Key.
The final word.
And we have Keystone in the building. And I was talking to Tom behind the scenes. Keystone, he said y'all been talking for about 2 years.
The final word.
It has been that long.
The final word.
Because he's been following all my tweets for quite some time. When I was posting stuff about his son, when I was going through the filter and the games, stuff like that, when I was watching up to that. When I was seeing it, I had to come. So I'm like, get him.
Yeah, get him.
Man, first of all, that says a lot about you. That says a lot about him. So we go get into the background because he was telling us a little bit about the story. So soon as the show kick off, we go get into that. Man. So first of all, good job, Keystone. Great scouting job of keeping your eye on just somebody that just got Cowboy Nation so excited.
That's good. Because there was a few others that was also on them. Gotta give those shout outs. What's going on, Stargazer?
Yeah.
Gotta shout her out. Gotta shout out Dominic White. Them two was big on Cooper too. So it wasn't just a win for the community. They was part of the community, so it's a big win for everybody.
And see, we win.
Dom and I carried on a conversation a couple of years ago, and he stayed in contact with me too. I mean, he was going hard. He's like, what do you mean he's not coming out? What do you mean he's not coming out?
I love it.
That sounds like too.
I love it. Nah, I was just saying, we was talking behind the scenes and I brought up Stargazer, and it was like, man, that's so impressive that you had Keystone, Dome, and Stargazer 2 years early, very loud about this pick. That's amazing.
It's amazing scout work, man.
So that's just amazing across the board. It says, and I was telling his dad, I was like, man, obviously that says a lot about the talent, but Cowboy Nation, boy, that is crazy, man. Shout out to everybody. So I can't wait. I can't wait. Matter of fact, I'm finna go ahead and kick off the show. I can't wait no longer, man. I'm finna
Let's
kick
go.
it off. Yeah, let's kick it off.
Go with it.
I can't wait no longer. Let's go.
I just wanna run it up.
That's all we want to do.
I've been really in the field, let up, I've been really in the field, let her rush, I let her feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Don't need no deals, I make the deal. Have to take it to a meal. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Kinda check the song. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Count that too, count it up, count it up. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Need them ones, I need them fives, need them tens, I need that change. To the safe, got blues inside. Greens and pinks, it's all the same. I still save and roll my change. Take some losses when I play, charge it to the game. eyes off for the bag, and that's worth more to me. I mix Nike with designer, I experiment. You just rock what's on the shelf and I'm not feeling it. Search for the one, but baby girl, it's nothing real as this. Can't trust a soul, I keep a hammer, call it too legit. I've been really in the field, love the rush, I love the feel. Lately I just wanna run it up.
I do. All right, we know how to kick it off.
Hello, Dallas Cowboy. This is Jerry Jones.
How's it going, Jerry?
Well, I'm talking to a Dallas Cowboy.
Let's go. Oh, God.
Hey, man, let me tell you something. Been some great things said about you in this draft room. You play and keep the same work ethic you've had to get here. You'll be a top player in the for the Cowboys in the NFL for a long time to come. I'm really proud to tell you you're a Dallas Cowboy.
I really appreciate that, Coach. Thank you.
Cooper, Mike McCarthy, congratulations.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Hey, man, we're so fired up to have you here. I know you've been working across the way here, so can't say enough. It's good to have a good Shawnee Mission guy coming in here. So
thank you so much, Coach. I'm happy to be a Cowboy.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Woo, that's awesome, huh?
Oh, yeah. Unbelievable.
It is. You're going to love it.
What's up, Coach? Thank you so much.
Hey, all we want you to do is come be you, brother. Come bring that play style you got, man, and just do what you do, man. We are so jacked up. So excited, brother.
I'm excited too, Coach. I can't wait.
Yeah, we shoot you and Deuce will be real comfortable, man. That's going to be awesome.
Absolutely, absolutely.
He'll tell you all about us and what we're all about. You'll figure it out real quick, man. But you fit in great here, man. Seriously.
Can't wait.
Let's go, man. Let's go.
Let's go with it. Let's go.
Let's go with it. So you was telling us the story behind the scenes, so we got to put that on repeat.
Well, about draft night. I mean, Dallas was nowhere in my sights. I didn't think there was any way he was going to get picked by Dallas. I had in my mind, from what I knew, 4 or 5 teams that we were following, and I was tracking their picks all along. And the first night, Cooper and his brothers and I sitting watching the first night, just kicked back, relaxed. But the second night, we had a house full of people, TV cameras, and local news crews and all of that. And we're seeing all these picks go by and teams that I thought were going to pick him. But Cooper didn't tell me that he got a text earlier in the day from Duke, Duke Manyweather. And Duke told him, said, don't be surprised if the Cowboys pick you as a center. And, of course, Cooper didn't tell me that. And we're watching the picks fly by, and teams that I thought definitely were going to grab him weren't grabbing him. And, you got TV cameras pointed at you. It's getting a little nerve-wracking. And all of a sudden the phone rings. And so I'm looking, trying to figure out, well, who's coming up? And I saw Dallas, and still never hit me till I heard Cooper put the phone up, and I heard Jerry's voice, and I think everybody in the room heard Jerry's voice. His godfather is funny. His godfather's been a lifelong Cowboys fan. He's visibly shaken. He hears Jerry's voice even before we know it was Dallas. Everybody heard Jerry's voice, and that was it. And he was visibly shaking. It was funny. It was really funny. The boys were scrambling trying to find the hat. And, man, it was crazy. And I think I don't know who got picked anywhere after him. It was just a big blur from that point on. But what a night.
Yeah, Tom, I'm just going to say this. The draft is always a fickle process. You just never know what it looks like until it's done. But when we heard your son's name being called, we already knew what type of person he was based off of the evaluations that we did. And we needed that nastiness. We needed that dog mentality. We needed that person with hunger. And that's what he brings to the table. So I love every piece of it, that this particular draft situation, once it's all completed, I would tell you, Mike McCarthy said it the other day, that he foresee that this is the best draft class since he's been in the building. And I look at it like everything that we had reservations on, we answered it with all of the pieces out of this draft. But without your son, it wouldn't be as sweet as it is now. So I can't wait to see him out there on the field.
Thank you. I can't wait to see him either.
Yeah, most certainly.
Keystone, I know you had some stuff, and Big Game is in the building. Let me get him in the show real quick.
Yeah, because when I first watched Cooper Beebe, he was going up against Texas Tech. And at that time, that's when Tyree Wilson was labeled as one of the top edgers coming into the edge class within that year. And I was just watching how Cooper was just bullying these dudes. I'm like, who is this guy? I'm like, we need to get him now. And due to his attitude, because of the fact that we was lacking attitude at the time on our offensive line, and with him seeing that in college, I said, Lord, I hope he do come to Dallas. Get him that type of demeanor, that type of attitude. That's going to make sure nobody messes with his teammates.
Big, we got you in.
What's going on?
How you doing?
Much, man.
I'm good. Chilling. How y'all doing?
Good. We got Mr. Tom Beebe in the house. Did you have something for him?
Oh, I just got something quick, Mr. Beebe. How you doing, first of all?
Good. How are you?
Well, I'm good. It's a pleasure to meet you. I just got a couple quick questions. First, it seems like football is like in the bloodlines. Pretty much all three of your sons played. Colton, Cooper, and Camden. All three of those played. And you played yourself. But what I wanted to ask, I think you played a little bit of defense first over at Pittsburgh State. Then you went to the offensive line. You were a second team All-American, like in '85 over there. And now you have Cooper, who played defense at Piper, and then he switched over to offense at K-State. So kind of talk about that with you. You played a little defense, then you went to offense, and Cooper did the same thing. So kind of talk about the differences between the defense and the offense, and kind of was the offensive line kind of always in your guys' blood?
So the interesting thing, I never played offensive line until I got to college.
Okay.
Yeah, even growing up, and it may not look like it, but I was a running back and a linebacker growing up, and played all that through high school at that. And I went to Pittsburgh State to play linebacker or defensive end, and hit campus as a freshman, and I'm behind a returning All-American, so I'm running second team, and our starting guard went down in the second game of the season, blew his knee out, was out for the rest of the year. And the offensive line coach looked at me and he said, "You ever played any offensive line?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Would you like to?" And I said, "Well, what are my chances of getting on the field?" And he said, "Come over and practice with us for a week." He said, "I think they're pretty good." And so I started third game on my freshman year on the offensive line, and like Cooper, I played guard, center, tackle, left side, right side, and being an athlete, the mentality was, well, I'll learn this. I mean, it can't be that, it can't be that tough. It's beating up on people. And he said, I'm right here in front of him. And yeah, if you don't have to show them they're right here, you know who you're beating up on. Let's do it. And then, for me, it was an opportunity to get on the field, and I started, third game on my freshman year. The funny thing is, they said, coach said, "Well, we'll move you back to defense after this year." We got through that freshman year, and they're like, "No, we're not going to move you." And
that's good stuff.
Cooper, he thought all along the only offers that he actually got, because he told everybody, "I'm going to play defense." So he got 3 offers to defense, and I kept telling him all along, "Son, you're going to play offensive line when you get to college." And he's like, "Oh," he said, "they offered me a defense." I go, "I'm just telling you, they're going to put you where, or they're going to ask you to play where you can help them best." And
how did you know that?
Well, I mean, growing up, and he played all over. I mean, played everywhere on the line. He defense. He actually in Little League we played him, lined him up at linebacker.
Wow.
You know, move him around. You got to get football's football. You got to get skills and the understanding of the game, and we moved kids around. You know, everybody wants to win, and even at the youth level. But to me, it's like get them the experience at different positions because you never know how a kid's going to turn. And,
Gotcha.
You know what, Tom? When you mentioned that, you know, it explains his mentality and his personality. When you plan on the defensive side, of course, you want to be aggressive. You want to be the person to hit first. On the offensive side, only person that plays defense, believe it or not, are the offensive linemen. You know, they got to get inside the cylinder. They got to attack. They got to finish. And one of the things that I like with Mike Solari is, yes, they're going to be moving out in space a lot more in this particular scheming system. And when I look back at the tape of Cooper, I'm seeing that he relished those opportunities to be the pancake guy, to smash them, you know, and to finish them off. And I love to see that because now I can tell from what you said where he got that mentality from. Because me and Boss Cowboy, we'll tell y'all that defense win championship. Ain't that right, Boss?
All day.
Defense win championship. So we got a guy with a defensive mind on that offensive line, and I love it.
Hey, I'll tell you what we can do, man, because I know everybody got a question. We could just rotate the questions for him because he got me going. Because you know, that seemed like one of them dad things to where you kind of know where your son best fit and you can kind of see it, you know. But I was looking into the background. I'm going to start it off and we'll just rotate these questions. I was looking at an article, The Gentle Giant, and they had a quote in here from you where you was talking about his background and you called him the dancing bear. And you said growing up, he was the kid who always had great feet, loved to dance to music, loved to be animated, but he was the most gentle of our kids. His mom calls him Big Teddy Bear. And quite honestly, that's what he is off the field. Tom Beebe pauses. On the field, he's something different. You got to talk about that. We got to hear about that.
It was fun.
Sorry for the long sound effect. I just had to get that in there. Go ahead.
So as kids, I'd break out the ladders, make them do ladder drills, all kinds of, because again, you don't know what position they're going to grow into. They're doing ladder drills just like running backs and at the footwork and whatever. Most of the kids and most of the offensive line and linemen and the kids, they hated it, loved it. You know, he high kneeing and karaokeing and doing all of that stuff. Ladder drills he loved, and my other one that's an offensive lineman at K-State now, he'd always, you know, I coached his team directly. I assisted on Cooper's, but you know, he didn't take to the ladder drills and all the footwork stuff, and Cooper loved it. And you know, and if you could turn music on, it got kicked up a notch.
Ooh.
And so he loved to move, and you know, you talk about, and he is 4 boys, all 4 different personalities. They had 3 that played college football, and I'll tell you, the one who's the best natural athlete of all of them didn't play college football.
Wow.
And, that kid can do anything. You pick up something brand new, and he's going to beat you at it. I've never done this. Well, he's going to beat you. But all different personalities and whatever. Like I said, Cooper off the field, soft-spoken, gentle, whatever. He you know, always a smile on his face. He's about stuff, this and that. When it comes to football, he's serious. There is no laughing. There is no, you know. And the thing, you know, Keystone talk. Hey, he was a bully. He was doing this and that. Part of the problem is he wasn't very highly touted. You look at him, and people make fun of him, and they look at him now. Well, he doesn't look like he can play football. He doesn't look like this. I'll say he played a little heavy in college. The senior season, way heavy. It looks completely different now, but you look at him, nobody touted him and stuff like that. You got to play with an edge. I mean, there are guys, and like you said, Keystone, the guy from Texas Tech. I mean, we would talk about these guys every week. We talk about Oklahoma. We talk about Texas. We talk about Texas Tech. And the story was they're going to whip you. I mean, these guys are awesome. And you have got to go out, show them, hey, you're not going to whip me. You're not going to roll over me. I'm going to bully you. I'm going to do whatever it takes to beat you. That mentality, he had to play that way. Absolutely.
Hey, I know you talked about Texas Tech, but I'm talking about that them Longhorns. I saw what he did to Trevondre Sweat and Byron Murphy too on tape. So yeah, that right there, he can move some big guys out of the way.
He threw a snatch trap on Sweat, threw him down on his face in that game, and I will say Texas beat up our offensive line on the run game. And Cooper held his own, but as a team, they were tough to run against. But pass blocking, I don't think anybody had to pressure that game off of Cooper. But yeah, there were some good film. Probably 2 years ago against Texas was probably even better film.
And see, I said I was going in order. I ain't gonna skip. Keystone, I know you had another question for Tom.
Yeah, I do. As you being a father and as well as being a coach, what position did you think that Cooper would be best fit at and why for the Dallas Cowboys?
Well, I was thinking guard all along. It's funny. Most teams asked him, hey, snap the ball. Well, he never, unlike me, I actually got some college snaps at center, but Cooper never got those in competition. But he did plenty of that in scrimmage and things like that. But teams were asking about that. And if you look at him, and this is another reason, you have to be a bully. He doesn't have the length, the size, he's not 6'8" like Guyton, doesn't have really long arms. But if you know what your limitations are and you play to that, you got to get that guy in the phone booth. Because only one guy is coming out. You got to get him in there. You can't hold him off with long arms, stuff like that, and then beat him up. But I was thinking guard. Of all the, he played four spots in college, and probably the best tape he had is at left guard. So I was thinking guard all along, but when they drafted and said start taking snaps, to me, the funny thing is, he is a bully, but when he comes up to the line of scrimmage, I watch football games with the boys, and we'll be watching something on TV, and he'll say, hey, here comes the, or he goes, watch this twist or watch this stunt or whatever. He's seeing things in, the second level and the third level of the defense before it happens. And he's calling things out. He's got that mentality, the smarts and stuff like that, studies film like crazy. So, he knows who he's going against. He knows their tendencies, what they're going to try to do to him, and how to counteract that. So, to me, or a center fits his mentality. I mean, he's smart as a whip, and so that actually makes a whole lot of sense. But I got it. If we need, he can play that. We just don't need.
Gotcha.
Big.
Well, one of the questions I had, which it was a very impressive stat that I saw on Cooper, that I believe he only gave up like 3 sacks in his career at Kansas State, gave up like 2 maybe his freshman year. Then from that, which is very impressive in 4 years. we're just talking about the center position, but talk about, that impressive stat. And just, I remember watching you on an interview and you were talking about your offensive line. And when you're playing the offensive line, you're also as good as your next man besides you, because a lot of times those guys save you. So obviously Dallas is coming in. They're talking about Cooper possibly playing center, and then you got Guyton, another rookie. Talk about, what do you think Cooper can really add playing the center position, and talk about how continuity is so big on the offensive line to be a great functional thing, because you got to see it at Pittsburgh State. You guys were the leading rushing team when you were there. So talk about how continuity really comes into play with that.
Yeah. To answer your first question about the sacks, the funny thing is his first start, redshirt, he gave up 3 or 4 sacks in that one game. That was against Arkansas State, and first start show up. He was in shock or what it was. He had a horrible game, and the funny thing is, we talked about it afterwards, and he said, "I'll never get beat like that." He goes, "I was totally unprepared, whatever." He went back to work. We went down to Oklahoma 2 weeks later, and we get beat by an FCS team to open the season. Oklahoma's ranked in the top 5, and got defensive guys all over the place. First round draft picks and this and that, or highly touted or whatever. And there are a couple of and he was playing tackle that year. There was an edge rusher there, and Cooper shut him out. Okay, so he gave up. I don't know if it was 3 or 4 game, but he didn't give up any of the rest of them. I think he gave up 1, or was credited with 1 his senior year. But the sack thing, and who determines who gave up that sack, and it's really in the outfield. Cooper will tell you he probably gave up a sack that didn't get charged to him. And the thing is, those guys know what the coverage is. They know where they're sliding, things like that. Being on an offensive line, it's a 5-man dance, and you can't do it all on your own. And I've said it plenty of times. The guy to your left and the guy to the right, you have to know what they're doing. You can't be out on an island expecting that guy. If I'm going to pass this guy off, and that's when you got to know that guy's going to be there and he's going to take it. And you've got a twist coming or something like that. I've got to pass him off, and I'm this guy coming from the second level. You have to trust that guy is going to be there, and that's the continuity. Those guys have to know what the guy next to him is going to do. They have to have the trust. If you don't have the trust, these guys are locking up one-on-one, and there's got a guy running free. And
well, let me add this to it, then, Mr. Tom. To the right of him, he got Zach Martin. To the left of him, he will have Tyler Smith if he's going to play that center spot. So that is going to be something like falling into a perfect dream of a scenario, because both of those guys all pros, and you putting him right in the middle. And what we're looking for is can he anchor in? Can he set the pace or set the tone with that? And I think that for sure he should be able to do that. What are your thoughts? And I hope I'm not going too far ahead, boss. But what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts with Beebe in relations to Duke Manyweather and Mike Solari being right here in Dallas and working with this offensive front?
Duke is the best. He's absolutely the best. So Cooper got hooked up with Duke. Well, it was funny. He was invited to O-Line Mastermind 2 years ago and had a conflict and couldn't make it. We went back last summer, and I met Duke for the first time. And I was like starstruck. Hey, Duke, mind if I come just listen in? And I went and attended the O-Line Mastermind, and you have NFL guys, you have Hall of Fame guys, just a loaded roster of guys sharing their thoughts, their ideas, and kind of sharpening up some of these younger guys that are still in college, trying to teach them the ropes, things you're going to have to think of on the field, off the field, in practice while you're out on your own by yourself, things like that. And then that sold me on what they were doing, and Duke talked about all the various ways. There is no one way to play offensive line. Each of these guys talk about it. You have to, your toolbox, what you can use. He doesn't have the line. That's not a toolbox to go out. You have to beat them different ways. And Duke's the master at teaching these guys, hey, stay within yourself, your toolbox, sharpen these up. There are multiple ways to bull rusher. You can't do the same thing every time out because the defensive guy, they're NFL players too, and they're going to try something different. You have to have multifaceted tools in your toolbox, and Duke drills it into those guys. And when he went to work with Duke, he not only went down there and worked out, got ready for the combine, and worked at the guards. He was snapping with Duke even before the draft. The footwork. Duke was already working on him in foot. Everybody that goes in there, Guyton probably working the guard. So Duke's all over it.
Wow.
All right, I got something. Since you brought up Guyton, you made the perfect segue for me.
Have you been able to kind of get used to these other rookies that are in the class? Cooper Beebe, I know y'all play in the same conference as each other, but getting used to these guys?
Yeah, I've been a big fan of Cooper Beebe for a long time. Like, before I was even, starting on the offensive line, I was a fan of him. Like, I love his nasty, I love his game, and I'm a big fan of him. And I've also talked with a couple of the O-linemen that are also coming here with me, and we've been clicking pretty well.
And rookie minicamp this.
Wait. See, I'm not going to let that go past me. So, when the first pick say, I'm a fan of Beebe, and I keep hearing Mike McCarthy talk about this is the best draft class ever. How is your son leading the charge in that freshman rookie room? Especially when you see Tyler Guyton praising him.
Well, interesting. I know they've gotten pretty tight. They've spent time, drilling each other on the playbook, doing walkthroughs. They were, in a hotel doing walkthroughs. Cooper was snapping the ball to Tyler. I mean, they're talking through all this, and it's kind of like when Cooper was in college. I mean, you just carry that over. The things you do in college to prepare. I mean, he was doing that with guys in college, and he and Tyler hit it off, and they hung the whole time through rookie minicamp and all of that. Spent a lot of time outside of practice and outside of the complex, still honing their craft, understanding the playbook, stuff like that. It's genuine. They're tight.
Wow. Yeah. Keystone, I know you had a...
My question also I wanted to ask you is, give me a second, how you see Cooper developing on the NFL caliber, better in the run block or the pass block?
Well, really where he's at. If he's at center, center or whatever, I think he's got the anchor. He can anchor down, and you're going to have a beef rushing up the middle on the inside. I think from a passing standpoint, he's going to be solid, very, very solid. When you start trying to move 370-pound guys that are 4 inches from your nose, it's going to take a little bit. You had guys in college. The thing about it is he's so smart. He's going to create a lane and get to. You've got to get in the position to give your running back an opportunity. Even if you don't blow a guy yards back, if you can get in the right position and create a lane, and this is funny, and I know Deuce didn't touch the ball a whole lot last year, but Deuce, when he was in college, ran off of Cooper a ton. And the funny thing, he knew where Cooper was, and he knew where that lane was going to be, where Cooper's butt was. Okay, and it's getting to the position. It's tying that man up and anchoring down, where you don't have to blow a guy 5 yards back. But what Cooper did a lot of times when he was playing guard, he was able to get to the second level and pick guys off. You know, he's coming from the left side. Deuce is running to the right, cuts back. You know, off of Cooper, right off of his butt. You know, Cooper's picking a linebacker off. There was, going back to the Texas games, picked Overshown off. Came from left tackle and couldn't reach him, but Cooper picked him off and drove him past the hole, and Deuce cut back to the left, and the play was going to the right. He cut back off of Cooper's butt and took it in the end zone. So to your original question, I think because of his anchor, he's going to be one heck of a pass block.
You can clearly him running right off of Beebe. You can clearly see everything that you just said, because he didn't know I was going to pull it up. You know, but you can clearly see, because I was just letting it roll as you was talking. Yeah, you could clearly see that they was basically in the game together. It's like you can see it right there. He looking for him. He looking to run off BB. You can clearly see. Yeah.
Boss.
Go ahead, Keystone. What'd you say?
I was saying patiently waiting for him too.
Yeah, you can see it.
Look that talked about in the past, but I also like to see him on the run too, because you know that we've been having some talks about having some running angles to get our run game more solidified, so Dak can pass the ball better. But for you saying him being better in the pass protection, I'll take that any given day.
Yeah, I think, you know, if he ends up playing center and he does play there, I think Dak could feel comfortable stepping up, you know, not getting that push up, you know, up the middle. And his leg, Cooper's really strong lower body. You know, we've gone after each other, shoving him around, and you know, I don't know what he squats, but I swear he can squat a house. His legs.
Yeah, he got that low center of gravity. Yeah, I like seeing that.
Right.
Yeah, boss.
Nice.
Yeah, I love seeing that. Yeah.
Big, did you have something?
I was just gonna say, you know, how were it seems like there's a football family. Everybody played except the one who didn't play, and he probably was the best. Talk about, like, did you guys ever have like film sessions with you and Cooper, like after games? Did you guys ever sit down, look at the tape? Maybe you looked at some things that, okay, Cooper, maybe you need to work right here. Maybe you need to do this, do that. And also, coming into the league, possibly playing center, what would you say that from afar, what would you think that he would need to work on coming into the NFL right now?
Okay. To answer your first question about film sessions, So after a high school game, you know, I had access to the film like immediately. I helped film, helped get all that stuff, you know, out on the huddle and all of that stuff. So I had access right away. I'm watching the game, you know, as soon as it's over, as soon as it's in the can. I'm watching it, and so I have some ideas. They used to go Saturday morning and watch the film. Then he'd come home, we'd talk about it, and then we would go over things again. You know, what was Coach saying? What then taught him how to look at film, and you know, you might have a play and you score a touchdown, but you as an individual may not have, you know, done everything. You may not have gotten 100 grade or score on that play. You scored a touchdown, and that's fine and well. But did you do your job? And
come on with
did you do it successfully?
Yeah.
And some of the funny things. So in college, I couldn't, you know, really sit down and watch them and go over that. But what we got into was a habit of, as soon as he came off the field, came out of the locker room after the game, the first thing he does is tell me about 5 or 6 plays that he had an opportunity to do something better.
Wow.
You know, we may have blown somebody out by 20, 30, 40 points, whatever, but the first thing he talked to me about, hey, I got hat heavy on that one, you know, going to the left and into the, you know, their sideline, got hat heavy. I missed a punch. My first step, my second was bad. So he's self-analyzing himself. By doing the film sessions, you know, when they were younger, taught him to. So he doesn't need to see it on the film. He's playing it back in his mind. I knew I missed that punch, or that guy was coming. I should have had him. I took the wrong step, the wrong angle. So, you know, and I did that with all my boys, and probably was a little harder on them than most, but developed understanding. And now, I mean, I don't him after the game saying, you did this wrong, this wrong, this wrong. You know, I go, hey, you know, how'd you feel on that? You know, Big goes, well, because I had, you know, these plays I could have done better, or this is what I need to work on. If I do that next week, we're going to get killed, or, you know, I'm going to get killed, or whatever. So he's always working on honing his game. And once we get through that and the end of the game and what he can do better, then we celebrate.
Man, that is a great insight to all of that. And
great insight.
For
real.
I'm gonna start calling you Coach Beebe. Coach Beebe, tell me more. You know.
So mom knows when he comes out of the locker room. You know, she says, "Oh, you look cute in uniform." Blah blah. You know, she gets that time with him. But then when he turns to me, it's like, everybody step away. Let us have that 5 minutes. We're gonna.
Daddy, let's go. Clap it up for the dads up in here. Clap it up. I want to pause and clap it up for the dads. Yeah.
And don't just give us cologne and draws next week, man. I know Father's Day is next week. Don't just give us the tie, the bow tie, and all of that. Yeah. Y'all gonna have to do something.
The tough love
next week.
Yeah. The business. Real quick, I gotta jump in real quick because this part caught my attention. Because you pulled it together. You did, but I saw you fighting that cheer right there.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
And I got 2 sons, and one of my sons said he wanted to be an MMA fighter. And I'm like you, Coach. Like, I let the mama do all the, you know, and she was the one got the hug. She got the first hug, but it's usually us that's putting in that hard work with them, that tough love with them. Can you describe this exact moment? Because I know his dream came true, but a lot of times it's you and the mama taking them to practice. It's you that's coaching them up, doing the film. Can you take me through this moment right here, sir?
So that, and you're right. I'm fighting back tears right there. So my oldest son, he played at University of Minnesota, and his redshirt freshman year, we were already getting calls from agents saying, hey, he's going to play on Sundays. He's going to play on Sundays. I believe, so all my kids, and still to this day, I run into coaches we played against in high school or whatever, and they go, yeah, Cooper's doing great, blah, 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 this and that, but the best one you had was this one. And, we thought for sure he was going to play on Sundays. He was going to be a fullback in the league. Of course, things went south. He had a knee injury. We changed the offense. They don't use a fullback. You know, he moves to tight end. So we go from all of that and the swirl and seeing everything that he went through. I mean, if you think about it, there's 32 teams, 53-man roster, just under 1,700 guys in the world that can play NFL football that they're going to be on a 53-man roster. The odds are astronomical. And everything you've done, all the time you put in, not just at practices, not just it's what you do off the field. And all my boys were fortunate enough to have mentors like youth coaches, high school coaches athletic trainers that put the time and effort into developing them and their approach to the game. And I will put in a plug for Mom. Mom actually instilled the humbleness in all of it.
Okay.
So that's where they get all of that. And Cooper's gentleness off the field, that's Mom's personality. Polishing that side up, but yeah, I mean,
clap it up for the moms.
Shout out to the moms.
We gonna clap it up for them too.
Yeah.
Hold on now. Where's my clap button? Thank you, Lau.
Shout out to the ladies, the moms.
That all hit me at that because like I said, we thought the oldest one had a shot and it could be gone in just an instant, and for Cooper to get to that point and actually hear his name, that's what really hit me. It's like everything that, and even Keystone 2 years ago saying, oh yeah, your kid's going to get drafted. You never really know. You think you're good enough and you think he's done well and he'll be successful, but you just never really know. And that's what hit me right there.
Thank you. And as somebody that has sons, it's always just, or daughters. No, I'm not saying that to take anything away from any sibling. Because you got a lot of boys. I got boys. So just to see that and know the type of work I put in, I want to ask you about that.
You got no girls?
No girls.
No girls?
No girls.
Man, I'm a girl dad over here though, but man, God dog, boy. You and Boss over there, boy.
Nah,
shout out to
I
y'all.
felt it because I know the work I'm putting in with my boys.
Put in some work.
And, to see him wipe his eye, I was just imagining like what's going through his head, like all the work, all the training, all the practices, all the picking them up and watching them dance, watching them when he was little, just all of that to say, God, look at this, my boy, you know what I mean? Dream come true. Like, so that was just curious to me. Did you have some key and big?
There was a second part to that question a minute ago. You asked about what I foresee is the needs of development going into the NFL, and if he's truly going to play center. I mean, as a guard, well, as an lineman, first of all, you know where you're going before the defense does, and the trick is to get to that spot. I mean, you may not necessarily have to blow a guy off the line, but you got to get your butt in the right spot, give your your back lane, things like that. Probably the biggest challenge is going to be the initial footwork. First of all, the snap's got to be good. All right. But going from snapping and then getting, that footwork right to get to that position, it's probably the biggest adjustment he'll have. As a guard, you don't have to worry about snapping the ball. You know where you're going. But snapping the ball and then getting to where you need to be is probably the biggest adjustment.
How do your son reacts to like competition? Because we heard that it's not going to be given to him to be the center, because you got TJ Bass, you got Brock Hoffman who's chomping at the bits to be there, who's saying that, hey, this spot belongs to me. So how do he handles competition?
Well, I mean, it's just like when he went into college. It's like, hey, if you go over here and you do this, you got a chance to compete. Nothing's going to be given to you.
Right.
Hey, he came in as a guard. Hey, if you go to the center, you got a chance to compete. He's never backed down from that. Growing up in a house of 4 boys, there's competition for everything. I mean, throwing rocks at the neighbor's house. I mean,
right.
Who's going to break that? I mean, it's a competition for everything. Thanksgiving dinner, we sit around and they all will dog the other one up. It's like we're gonna cry. You remember that play in high school that 2 points a person to hit off your face mask and this and that. There is the brothers don't cut you any slack. It's a competition for everything.
Right.
So, on the field, off the field, or whatever, we thrive on competition. You can't play a friendly board game without competition. He's going to get after it. And the funny thing, I talked to him, and he has said, the veterans have all been very, very welcoming. There is no, hey, this is my job or whatever.
Right.
It's an understanding. Hey, we're going to be competing, and at the end of the day, you're going to get the best 5 onto the field, and that's just like it was, when he was in college. And go back to playing guard, playing tackle, playing center. The more tools you have in the toolbox, easier it is for you to be one of those 5. And here's the thing: if you don't win that starting center job, they're going to need you at some point this year to play, to fill in, to do something. And the competition is only going to make you better.
Well, Coach Beebe, go ahead. I got to tell you something about this channel and about us. Go ahead.
If you don't win this job, that means that the guy who beat you out is pretty damn good too.
Damn good.
All right.
Now, I love that, but I'm gonna let you know the guy next to you, Big Game James, and I know for sure Boss Cowboy and Keystone. If the best 5 is not out there, you will hear it from us, So we'll make sure that you get the real news from us. So if it's any of those wee-woos, or if it's any of those political things, and if your son ain't out there, we will let people know, and we will say, hey man, Cooper was out there whooping ass.
Boom.
I'm just gonna let you know. We gonna let people know right then and there. So don't worry about that. We're looking for the best 5 to be out there.
Here's how you go out and prove you're one of the best 5, but then again, it's the communication. It's the guy to the right. If you got their back and whatever, and again, this goes back to, this is a 5-man dance. There's not, 5 individuals out there. This is a 5-man working in unison or whatever. And you work that right, trust you or whatever, you're going to find your way onto the field. And when he's going to pass a guy off to you, or he's going to pick up a guy you're passing off, those things will stand out on tape, and somebody will see it. And even in college, we would have that argument. Hey, do we really have the best 5 here? Well, we got the best 5 unit, and it may not be the most talented 5 individuals. It's the best 5-man unit. So when you look at that, that's because I know exactly what you're talking about, because I've heard those arguments. Guess what though? That guy may be the weakest link on it there, but the 2 guys next to him, those 3 in unison get the job done. And so there's a little give and take.
I gotta be selfish. I'm so selfish. You got another son, the youngest.
Yeah, he's the meanest and nastiest of the 4 boys.
Yeah, I was just getting ready, because listen, they recruited Beebe early. Shoot, why not start here? I was looking at him, I was like, goodness gracious, 6'3". Hold on real quick, 353, and you said the nastiest?
Oh yeah. So the Cooper being the dancing bear, the big teddy bear or whatever, he might blast you, he might pancake you and then help you up, on his way back to the huddle. The youngest one, no, he's going to step on you.
Yes!
Going back.
My type.
Wow.
That's the nastiest.
So the funny thing, when they were recruiting him, and Coach Kleiman at Kansas State told me, he said, everything I've learned about Camden is he's totally different than Cooper. He goes, he plays with an edge and a nastiness to him. He goes, I don't ever want him to lose that. He goes, I'll take it all day. Different than Cooper. And they, same results, but he said he's nasty. You got to keep that.
Man.
So he's you said 353. He's in the 330s right now. He's on his way down. So I'll tell you, the day I dropped Cooper off at Kansas State, he was 349. Okay, they cut him down to 305, and then put him back. When he really started playing, he was in the 320s, and then gradually got back up into the 330s. But they rebuilt the body. And I knew that going in. It's like, you are going to learn so much about how to take care of your body, your nutrition, your workouts, and your strength and conditioning, and they'll break you down and rebuild it. And that's what they're doing with the youngest one right now.
And so I heard you sneak out something too. You said that he's slimming up right now, and you said you felt like he played a little bit heavy. I'm so glad you said that, because I had the same opinion. I felt like he was a little bit heavy his senior year,
He probably played in the 340s.
Yeah.
Lord.
Wow. Yeah. So, because I saw them do that to Tyler Smith. They slimmed him down. They slimmed him down. So the Cowboys with Duke and Solari, they trying to rebuild him, I guess, to be more athletic. Would you say? Is it what they're doing right now?
Well, Duke cut him down to, I think when he went to the combine, he was 322 maybe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I think that's what he weighed in at the combine, if I'm not mistaken.
That's perfect.
He was probably upper 330s, 340s before he got down to Duke, and they cut him down there. But the funny thing is, they cut some of the fat off of him, but put muscle weight on him. So the fat weight is going down, but the muscle weight is going up.
All right, we finna get in our final words. But
what's that score, man? What's that score?
Man, we losing, man. Dallas is losing. Boston is. They're on a commercial break right now. The score is Boston 83, Dallas 74. So,
yeah,
I know.
They can still have another quarter left to play.
I think if they keep it close, then the Mavs will be able to pull off sneak one over there. But yeah.
And wait,
what a pass! So
down by 9. Okay.
You said something before we give our final words, because you've been so patient with us. You talked about the veteran guys and the culture of those veteran guys. I was noticing in their interviews, Tyler Guyton, he kept bringing up Hoffman, and then I heard your son bring up Hoffman, and I heard in his interview he brought up that Zach Martin called him on draft day. I've been kind of looking at the offensive line room. I want to get your feel on this. It seems like a very unselfish brotherhood. Like, they go compete, but I see a lot of unselfishness. I was watching Hoffman, who has a podcast called The 8th Round, and he's competing with TJ Bass, but yet TJ Bass is a guest on this podcast. Can you speak to the brotherhood that you're hearing about from
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. It is a brotherhood. And so Cooper actually had met Zach while he was down training with Duke, so in and out occasionally. So he had met him. So when Cooper was drafted, Zach reached out right away. They had previously met each other and developed a knowledge of each other and respect for each other's work ethics. And as an offensive line unit, all right, so how many of you do what I do? I bring binoculars to the game and I watch the offensive line, and halftime I'd be scoring because I'm watching the offensive line. Offensive lineman, again, it's a 5-man unit, and it's the game within the game. Okay,
right.
So these guys have a job to do, and even if you score a touchdown, you didn't do your job well. Then when tapes played back, the brotherhood, coach may run a play back 5 or 6 times. Hey, we scored a touchdown, but what the hell are you doing? And so it's it's the brotherhood, and this way it was at K-State. They would crack on each other and say, "Hey, dude, you got to pick this up. I thought you were going to get this guy, and you let him run free and things like that." You have to be on the same page, and the brotherhood you're talking about, those guys, I mean, the veterans have treated them great. It's like welcome with open arms, and they seem all pretty tight. And Cooper has told me, a number of times, he's like, yeah, he goes, the veterans are really cool, and not only just the offensive line unit, but talking to them and things like that. They all welcomed them with open arms, and all of those rookies. And you talk about the funny thing. You hear stories of the rookie hazing or whatever. Now we haven't gone to camp yet, true camp out in Oxnard. And what if he's going to have to get up and sing the alma mater or whatever. But doesn't seem to be any of that. Hey, you're carry this for me or do this or do that. I'm sure there'll be a little bit of that. Those guys have treated them just like they've been there all along.
They're going to make them pay for that meal. They're going to make them pay for that meal, though.
Thank you, Des.
Just wait for that one, though, when they go out for eats. Yeah.
They haven't done meal, but he has made a couple of purchases, and he's like, hey, he goes, by the way, if you see this on my debit card, he goes, this is what I'm buying, for the veterans or whatever. So he's getting a little of that, but that's only to be expected.
Yeah.
Before we give our final words, I do want to advertise, because obviously I love this show. Thank you for your insight, because I meant what I said. This was a pick that I've never seen Cowboy Nation so unified about. Like you could. I'm pretty sure there's some weirdos out there that didn't like the pick, but overall, everybody loved the value and the creativity of the Dallas Cowboys to be open to having play center and to get that talent. So thank you so much, because I've learned so much in the background and looking under the hood. We also have Tuesday. We just want to kind of cheaply plug before we give our final words. We have Jermichael Finley, who's a Super Bowl winner under Michael McCarthy. He's going to be coming in Tuesday. That's normally when we do the show on Tuesday, but we obviously made an exception today to have Tom. We also have Clarence Hill coming from Fort Worth Star-Telegram. So we got a star-studded cast to also be in addition to Tom. So y'all stay tuned for what's going to be coming on the final word. Did you have anything else, Keystone, before we give our final words?
I do have one more question. As you also being not only a coach, but also a father as well, and I know that you've watched all the games that you could watch Cooper play in. What was your favorite game that you watched him play in, and why?
Big 12 championship, beating TCU in AT&T Stadium.
That's my favorite game too.
That's what you play the game for, to win championships. And they did it.
Sure did. Pop-Tarts, wasn't it?
No. That they won the Pop-Tart Bowl, but the Big 12 championship against TCU, the year TCU was national runner-up.
Good question, Keystone.
They were undefeated. We beat them in the Big 12 championship there in AT&T Stadium. By the way, Cooper's 3-0 in AT&T Stadium. We beat Stanford there. We beat Team there, and I think he beat Team Japan when he was 15U international.
Man, this part, I'm gonna still call you Coach Tom. I just I'm gonna call you Tom. He told me to call him Tom. Tom, this part of the show, we have called our final words. So we go give our final thoughts. So, after meeting you, I will say this: I have a better feel of why your son is the way he is. I've been listening to you. You've been very honest. You've been very direct. And I'm like that as a father, where I shoot my son straight. Like, I had Bible study with my sons today, and we was talking about the story of Cain and Abel. And Cain's countenance changed based on what he was told by God, because he didn't want to hear what he was told. And I was teaching them about being able to take instruction and being able to have somebody honest with you, and and just to hear the stories that you was talking about, even in the blowout, he was self-correcting, self-analyzing, like that is traits of greatness, and that type of background we can only get from a father. So first, I just appreciate all the background story that it gives me an even better feeling than even when you came on. So that's my final words, and I really appreciate the insight you gave us on our most celebrated draft pick. That's my final word. Keystone.
My final word is, first and foremost, I want to give special thanks to you, Mr. Beebe, for taking the time and talk with us about everything of not just you as a player, but the traits of your son as well, and transition him to being a better player and go out there and just show Dallas what he's made of. And we already know what he can bring to the table because we already discussed it. And me as myself, being one of those fans that has watched him for the last couple of years, knows what he can bring to the table. So for all that, I just want to go out there in camp and just start dirting people. And I really want to see him go up against Michael Parsons just for the heck of it. So I want to see attitude versus attitude. And for all this work, I'm going to call it a bold prediction. Cooper Beebe will be a Hall of Famer in Dallas.
Whoa!
Yeah, let's go, man. Let's go.
Hey, shout out to the scouting community, man. Shout out. The fact I'm still shocked that Keystone and Doug and Star was 2 years reaching out. I love it. I love it. What's your final words, Tom?
For me, hey, we, like I said, going into the draft, wasn't expecting. Honestly, I was fearful we were going to be East Coast, West Coast. Strong indications there. When as soon as I heard Jerry's voice, I knew we were going to Dallas. And for us, heart of Big 12 country, there's a flight leaving Kansas City for Dallas every hour. Couldn't have been the more perfect place for him to land, for not only for him, his girlfriend, but the entire family. We're very happy to be part of Cowboy Nation.
Wow. Law.
Yes, indeed. I just want to echo what everyone said. It was a pleasure, man, having you on the show and being able to share us your insightful information on your son. Keep in mind, everybody, that we heard rumblings and news about Zach Martin may be his last season. And I don't want that. But I'm a little bit more confident that if it's anybody that can probably try to put his feet in those shoes, will be your son, if given the opportunity to be the right guard for the Dallas Cowboys for the foreseeable future. I want to segue I know it's our final words, boss, but I just want to hear from the father. Is that a possibility for him to play right guard as well? Because I know he's flexible enough to play all over that line.
From what I understand, he's working primarily at center, but he is also working at guard. Again, if he doesn't end up starting at center, somebody gets hurt in the game. It's tough to have an NFL season where all 5 guys play 17 games.
Right.
You could see him at guard very easily. You could see him at, again, that's the flexibility. If Zach were to retire this year, next year, or whatever, I'm sure Cooper would like the
there's this possibility.
Oh, sorry.
No, that was me.
Okay.
No, you said he would like the possibility.
Yeah.
Most certainly. So, hey, all I can say is, I love the mindset, the mental fortitude of everything. Jim Rowan once said, "When the end comes for me, let it find me conquering a new mountain, not sliding down an old one." I'm quite sure that the mindset and the mentality is what this is all about with Cooper Beebe. Let's get it. That's all of my thoughts on this. Let's go.
Let's go. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me on.
Let's go. Hey, I see you out there in Oxnard. I know you're going. You going, right? Next month?
Yeah, I hear they have one of the nicest golf courses around right there where they practice. Someone's told me, and I like to play a little golf. Cooper likes to play a little golf. They said that I would love that golf course. So trying to figure out. I definitely have flight arrangements for all the preseason games already. I just got to make that one and get out to Oxnard.
I'll play some golf too. So yeah, we gonna have to get out there.
Boss supposed to take me on the greens, man, and show me a little something, man.
He's supposed
to, have a little sit back, get a cigar, a little beverage, and do something, man.
Best game in the world.
But boss been too busy. What about you, Tom? I may have to swing with you, huh?
Absolutely, I'm up for it.
All right, let's go. I'll see you around at Top Golf or somewhere. Let's go.
I just wanna run it up. Kinda check or something. I've been really in the field, let up, I've been really in the field, let her rush, I let her feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Don't need no deals, I make the deal. Half a ticket to a meal. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Kinda check or something. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Count that too, count it up. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Need them ones, I need them fives, need them tens, I need that change. To the safe, got blues inside. Greens and pinks, it's all the same. I still save and roll my change. Take some losses when I play, charge it to the game. I'm with L, yeah, I'm with T Black, I'm with Revan now. I'm with Bay, yeah, I'm with Jay, yeah, I'm with Chuck and now. Still the same, not switching sides, now it's about loyalty. You switch sides off for the bag, and that's worth more to me. I mix Nike with designer, I experiment. You just rock what's on the shelf, and I'm not feeling it. Search for the one, but baby girl, it's nothing real as this. Can't trust a soul, I keep a hammer, call it too legit. I've been really in the field, let her rush, I let her feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up.